Oh, I did it again. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thursday evening. It's a wet Thursday evening. Well, it was a wet day today in Sacramento. It's dried off a little bit, but there's still clouds in the sky. Yeah, I took last week off. I had a meeting to go to last Thursday night. And when I set up this show, I set it up to start at 7:30. Now, I don't know what I was thinking. This is from 7 to 8. But for some reason, I put it up there as starting at 7:30. And at about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so before the show started, I realized what I'd done and reset it for 7:10 because I had to. You have to set it at least 10 minutes before you start. So I reset it for 7:10. Unfortunately, I think what that's going to mean is that people may be late getting to the show. So my bad. I apologize for that. Totally spaced out. So hopefully next week's show will start right at 7 o'clock and I'll have the notice out there, properly and everything. And then for some reason, I always forget to add myself to the stream so that when the video ends, I just come on. What a goofball. What a goofball. Anyway, here we are. My neighbors upstairs are quite noisy tonight, and it's unusual. So hopefully the way this microphone works, most of the sound won't come through. But if it does, then I apologize. And it's just, streaming this out of my apartment. So that's what you get. Anyway, it's been a good day. Let me go ahead and we'll click this on so we can get this out of the way here. Okay, so what's up for me? What's new? Not a whole lot, honestly. I haven't done anything new in the last 2 weeks since the last show. I haven't done any, doctor's visits or, goodness gracious. I don't think anything's different. Yeah. What a wonderful life. Pretty consistently nothing. So that's fun. So welcome again to the show. There's my little short update, which is no update at all. And if you have just joined, either via Here With Me Live tonight, or if you are watching the recording, please say hi in the chat or leave me a comment so that I know you were here and I can say hi. Yeah, so much for that update. Tonight's going to be a little bit low-key. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on, but there's enough, I think, that we can give at least a good half hour to the show. So this is something I saw that was interesting, maybe a little concerning. We'll just have to keep our eyes on this. So let's talk about a COVID minute. Motorcycle. I guess people, it's nice out. It's beautiful. It's about 70 degrees. So it's cool. The air is clean. I think people are out tonight. A motorcycle just drove by. So what's going on with COVID-19? Well, let's take a look at the graph that I like to do. So here we go. Mr. Graph. Okay. So let's pull this up here. And let me just take my picture off the screen here. Who wants to see my picture? Oh, I like that. That's not bad. That's a new screen that StreamYard has added. Yeah, that's cool. Right on. Okay, let's take a good look at it here. So if you look at the far right, we've been coming down, and this top line is hospitalized patients, right? Coming down, looking good, right? little jag up. That's okay. Still coming down. But then we get here, as you can see, we've got it just sort of plateaued. So on October, what do we got here? October 12th, we had 178 hospitalizations. And then it went to 180, 183, 185, 179, 185, 182 as of a couple days ago. And then ICU patients, it lags. And so we're going to probably see a little bit of a dip still before see if it levels off. The other thing I wanted to look at was, where are we in comparison to last year? So October 19th, we were 182. That's this year. October 19th last year, let's see, where is it? October 19th, we were at 80. See that? 80. So 80 compared to 182. So we're like 100 hospitalized patients more than we were this time last year. What that means, of course, is that we're definitely not out of the woods. Because you can see, if you look, here's October last year, and it got all the way down to 77, and then in November started shooting back up again, right? And it got all the way up to 518. Yeah, 518. So that could still happen. We've got a couple of events. There was a big rock and roll outdoor concert kind of a thing, music festival, not too long ago. Tomorrow, Sacramento hosts an Ironman competition. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing are Sacramentans not wearing masks. So we could definitely see an uptick in the next month or so. So that's a bit disconcerting. It's just sad that seems to be, the way things are looking. So we definitely have to keep an eye on what's going on, and keep the masks on. I know the weather's nice. We're getting close to Halloween. People are going to want to go out, but we need to be really careful, right? We need to be really careful. It may be that Halloween is what caused the uptick last year in November. So just, wearing masks and washing your hands and sanitizing and keeping your distance and doing as much as you can outdoors as possible. Just being smart about what we do so that we get this virus under control, because, we're all tired. We're all tired. But if we don't do anything about it, we're going to be tired. And if we finally just give up, then I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we want to give up. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at with the coronavirus. Yeah, that's a little COVID update. So, last night we had choir practice, and I took my umbrella, just in case. It was sprinkling a little bit, but at the end, right at the end of choir, it started raining really hard. And then this morning, it rained quite hard. So that's good. Governor Newsom just declared state of emergency for a drought emergency. Yesterday, I think it was. And what that basically means is that the last time this happened was it actually takes another season for there to be regulations to be implemented. But this rain's a good sign. I was seeing some weather forecasts that said we're going to have a dry winter. So if this keeps up, then that's great. We got some snow, we got some rain, very much needed, especially when it comes to, forest fires and that sort of thing. So what I thought I'd do is I'd pull up the forecast for Sacramento for the next 10 days. And let's see what we've got here. It takes a minute to do this. Wish it was quicker. There we go. All right. And what is it looking like here? Oh, it's nice. Okay, so let me just raise it up here on the screen here a little bit. And hang on here. You do that, make it a little bigger. Yeah, nice. Okay. So currently it's 74 degrees. Looks like we're going to have a low of 60. Tomorrow it's got a 52% chance of rain. Yeah. In the morning. Is that what that means? No. So that's a high of 67, low of 52, 96% chance of rain. So that's what that's all about. Saturday, 24%. Sunday is supposed to be a 100% chance of rain, and that's when they're doing the Ironman competition. That'll be really interesting. Scattered thunderstorms on Monday, and then you can see you've got Wednesday, it drops down to 18%, and then it starts to dry up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way through to Thursday, the 4th of November. So that's the 10-day forecast. And let's take a look at, we'll just slide down here to the radar. You can see Sacramento is going to be dry for a little bit. Looks like most of the rain is north of us. It says there's a slight chance of rain over the next 6 hours. So we're talking sprinkles probably, right? That's what I'm guessing, sprinkles. So that's cool. It makes for really nice weather, nice sleeping weather. The air is clean, it's cool. So that's nice. That's good times, good times. Yeah. So that's a bit of a forecast. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We may end up having a very dry spell after this little rainstorm. Who knows? I don't know, but it's possible. Anyway, so that's our little 10-day weather forecast. Now, there's something interesting going on. I mean, if you've been watching politics, Washington, D.C. is a mess, right? So if the Democrats are having a hard time getting it together. We've got two conservative Democrats that are basically holding up everything. I guess Joe Biden tonight indicated that they're getting closer and closer to some type of a negotiated agreement to move forward on it. But he talked about the filibuster. Now, the filibuster, the way it's set up, when I was growing up, the filibuster was you had to actually stand and talk, right, to hold up the vote, keep the vote from happening. Then they changed it to a vote limit, which means that in order to pass something, you had to get 60 votes out of 100 in the Senate. And right now, that means that you got 50 and 50. It means you're going to have to, if the Democrats want to pass any of their legislation, they have to get all Democrats to vote plus 10 Republicans. That's not happening. So there's been a lot of talk about ending that filibuster. So all we need is the 50 senators plus the vice president to break the tie, and then it would pass. But both Joe Manchin and Sinema, what's her first name? This will probably say when I go to it, are totally opposed with ending the filibuster. President Biden addressed that tonight. This is what he had to say. Biden says he's open to altering filibuster on voting rights and debt limit. So one of the things they're looking at is passing, so if you remember a few years back, the voting rights that were part of the civil rights legislation that President Johnson passed back in the 60s was ended. Because I guess it had to be renewed every few years, and it was up for renewal, and they just let it die. Sunset is the term. Because they said, we're past that now. We've got an African-American president. We no longer have problems in voting discrimination. So they let it pass. They let it sunset. But we found there was problems. And so they're trying to pass more voting rights. And also raising the debt ceiling. So here's the deal. President Biden today acknowledged in his strongest terms that filibuster reform will be necessary to pass key items like voting rights legislation and debt limit increases. But doing it right now would hamper his ability to pass his economic agenda. So that's the deal. So basically he says that if he was to advocate for the ending of the filibuster now, and he says it somewhere up here, that he would lose here it is, if in fact I get myself into this moment, the debate on the filibuster, I lose at least 3 votes right now to get what I have to get done on the economic side of the equation and the foreign policy side of the equation. Kyrsten Sinema, that's it. Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are the conservative Democrats that are holding things up right now in Congress. So that was pretty major. We'll see how that all plays out. There's a strong chance that nothing's going to pass as far as infrastructure bills. Who knows what's going to happen. Oh, and if, by the way, if you're curious about Sweetwater, Sweetwater is a company that I use to purchase microphones and audio interfaces, and these are called cloud lifters, which help boost the signal for sound. And so I shop Streamwater a lot. So that's why that's on there. Yeah. All right, back to you guys. Okay, so that's really all I had to talk about tonight. And we're at 7:30. So I guess a half an hour was about right after all. So 7:30 to 8 would have been perfect. Oh, well, my bad. I'm going to hang on here because I think if people saw when I announced it earlier this week, I had 7:30. It was going to start at 7:30. So I'm going to wait a little bit to see whether or not people show up at the 7:30 mark. And if so, that's cool. Maybe we'll play the first part of the show again. Anyway, that's my bad. My bad. So what else? Anything else new? The sky's been beautiful, the moon, and we've seen Saturn and Jupiter playing around with the moon lately. So that was cool. It's just, gorgeous weather. Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be rough downtown with the Iron Man. Not tomorrow. Sunday. Sunday's going to be rough with Iron Man. A lot of streets are closed off. There's the city hall parking garage has been closed for a long time because of a fire. And looks like they're going to probably close the other garage that's in that area because of Iron Man. So it's going to be rough Sunday morning is going to be rough downtown. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's see if I can think of anything last minute to talk about. I cannot. So it is 7:30 on the mark. I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see what happens here. So you never know, right? I mean, maybe I'll even start up my intro video. I could do that. Yeah. Does anybody have plans for Halloween out there? I don't. I've never been a big Halloween fan. There's been a couple of times where I remember I dressed up in, I think I went to a used clothing store and bought a vintage shark skin suit, and it was a nice little narrow tie, and did the whole James Bond kind of dry martini thing. But, normally, one time I just, I took a t-shirt or something, or maybe just a cloth, and I wrapped it around my head. And I just walked around. I didn't say anything, and people didn't know who I was. And I used hand gestures for communicating, and just let people wonder who I was. And then eventually I took it off, But other than that, I like to not be home on Halloween, or turn the lights out, pretend like I'm not at home. Just not a big Halloween person. Just not. And I'm really not in favor of spending a lot of money on costumes and that sort of thing. You wear it once and no, I don't think so. My mom was into it, so she made costumes for me, but that's about it. And that was fun for her, right? And I was a kid, so she'd make a costume one year. I wouldn't fit the next year, so we went off to something brand new. But anyway. So it is now 7:33, and I'm going to call it. It's been an interesting evening. There's no point in being on here with nothing to say. I could just sit here in silence, I suppose. But what fun is that? That's not fun for anybody. So let me go ahead and get to my closing thing here. And I wish you all a good evening and a good weekend. And I'll see you next Thursday.